So we'll do a short 15-minute period of metta practice, and I'll likely lead us in the metta bhavana. So if you just get comfortable, whether you're seated or feel free to lie down. I'll ring a bell at the end, but name the stages as we go through. So just first of all, just arriving in this human body. How does it feel in this moment just to land here in this room with each other or online in your space at home? Just encouraging a deeper inhalation. With the exhalation, just imagining the shoulders releasing, dropping down. And then another deeper inhalation. With the exhalation, just allowing the cheeks to feel heavy, the gaze to sink inwards. A gentle turning towards the heart. Starting to bring awareness to the heart space. That may be a place in the body. It doesn't have to be a typical place in the body where you'd find the heart even. Bringing awareness to the emotional world. Inviting all aspects of our being to join us in the loving kindness practice. So in the first stage, just starting turning towards oneself. So holding ourselves in kindly awareness. Maybe acknowledging that you're a being who suffers, who's trying to grow the best way you can. And then gently, in our own time, just bring into heart a good friend. Maybe a friend you clearly love or have warm regard for. Inviting that person into your heart with you, side by side. Maybe there's an image of you two together, or a colour, or a word that comes to mind. Or maybe neither of those. Being with whatever's there as you invite a friend in. And then gently bring into mind a neutral person. That's someone you don't particularly like or dislike. You just see them around. Inviting them into your heart as much as you feel able. They have a whole world of inner world of emotions, daily ups and downs, difficulties, just like you. What must it be like to be them? So now, if you wish, in the fourth stage, we invite someone we find challenging, we're having some difficulty with. If you go gentle with yourself and invite someone that's not too difficult, it presents a little challenge to the heart. What's it like to invite them? Bringing a kindly awareness to this challenging person. So like us, they experience suffering and self. They experience praise and blame, and gain and loss, pleasure, pain, success and failure. Now from this place within our heart, where we stand alongside a friend, a neutral person, a difficult person, gently in our own time, just moving beyond that circle to encompass more and more beings. We can think that in terms of spanning the earth, people we know in different countries. Maybe even the people we've known throughout time, past and present. Maybe our heart can expand out to animals, plant life, and if we wish, but beyond this planet. There's no literal wall to how much we can hold in our heart. And then in your own time, just traveling back to the sense of self in the space, body on the earth. As we come to close the practice. So we are, feel free to keep meditating with your eyes closed, but we are halfway through a theme for Tuesday night. So it's covering ethics, and Naravira will say more about that in a moment. I'll hand over to Naravira now.
It seems to be set by technical problems this evening. Okay, so quite a few of you will have been here before for this, what we've been doing in this part of Sanganite, which we're calling ethical dilemmas. And what we wanted to do with this is, well, the ethical issues that we might consider, but we wanted to make it so that we can create a situation where we can discuss those issues that are most important for us. So, ethical, within the context of Buddhist practice, yes, it's about considering things like, non-harm, not taking it off given, etc. But also, when it comes down to our day-to-day lives, often a lot of us are not acting in grossly unethical ways. But there are things that, there are patterns of our own behaviour that are, getting in the way of ourselves, we could say. So that's one way that we can also think about ethics, is about our own behavioural patterning. So the Buddha said everything is conditioned, everything arises in dependence upon conditions. Chairs, storms outside, planetary systems, everything is arising on dependence upon conditions, but so are we as people arising in dependence upon conditions. So our conditioning is there, it's present, it's part of who we are. And sometimes that conditioning is positive, there's lots of positive aspects to our conditioning. I know you all to be friendly people, that's a lovely positive aspect of our conditioning. But there are these other aspects of our conditioning that are getting in our way. So that's kind of the way we were sort of looking at this. It can be that you're looking at directly at an ethical issue that you're trying to sort out. So you've got some ethical dilemma that's going on in your life. But in a way, what we want to talk about in these small groups that we have it is whatever is most important to us. And I've said quite a bit about that already, and I've said quite a bit over the last few weeks about what's the best way we can come to that with each other. And I talked about skills of listening, that actually sort of listen to each other is a skill, to take each other in fully is something that we can learn more to do. I suggested a couple of ideas around that, about this active listening, letting the person speak for themselves, reflecting people back, so that when somebody speaks, we just sort of reflect back what they said, so that that person then can get clear in their own mind as to what it is, what it is that they're trying to get to. And I talked, I think it was last week, or no, it didn't be last week, the week before, about asking questions, how to ask questions. So this is the idea that we ask questions that would help open out something for somebody rather than close it down. And I suggested this idea of questions of what and how are good questions to ask. So, I'm feeling down, feeling a bit depressed, I'm not sure why. You're feeling a bit depressed, aren't you? Do you want to say more about that? Yeah, I feel a bit depressed. It was after something somebody said to me the other day that upset me. Something said to you the other day upset you. What was it that upset you? Can you say what it was that upset you? You see, that question opens out into something else rather than a question that might close it down, such as a random question. What was the name of this person who we were talking to? It doesn't add anything to that. We don't really need to know the name of that. I think I mentioned this conversation perhaps before. Carl Rogers, a famous counsellor who did this sort of thing all the time. His wife one night asked him about one of his clients, and said, well, what does he do? And Carl Rogers said, I don't know, he didn't really say. Well, where does he live? I don't know, he didn't really say. For Carl Rogers, that wasn't important. What was important was whatever it was for that person, to open out what that issue was. So yeah.